Midterms are just a week and a half away, and it's shaping up to be all about President Trump. A new USA Today Suffolk University poll found 58% of likely voters say President Trump will have a lot of impact when folks head to the voting booth. The president is paying attention. He's already held 12 MAGA rallies. He's got 10 more on the calendar. So is the president the key to GOP victory come next week? Or it's like a week and a half. Joining me now, RNC spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany. Hi, Kayleigh.
Hey, Kennedy, how are you?
Good. I saw you outside the elevator today, and now I am seeing your face. Welcome.
Good to see you.
So which races has the president positively, measurably affected so far with these rallies?
Oh, there are quite a few, and it's tangible and it's quantifiable. You look at Tennessee with Marsha Blackburn. She was down by 5 points. President comes, rallies, she's up by 14. Likewise, Dean Heller out of Nevada, he was down by 4. President comes, rallies, he's now up by 7. This trend is noticeable. We see it in our polling at the RNC. They told me out in Montana in our internals, they saw it happen as well. So the Trump rally has quite a bit of power.
So what about some of these tricky House races? Because that's what could be problematic for the president. If Democrats win the House, what happens then?
Oh, if Democrats win the House, I mean, the consequences are quite dire. We know that they will try to impeach, even though it's baseless. The Trump agenda ends. But that's why the president is very strategically, obviously he doesn't have a lot of time, so we very strategically help him decide which races he can make the most difference in. And you look at Minnesota.
So where's he going? What are some of these races?
Yeah, so Minnesota, he went out to Minnesota, right, to rally, and that was specifically really for the House. And we saw in Minnesota's 8th district, the Democrats pulled out their spending because that is going to be a pickup for Republicans should the polls should the vote turn out the way the polls are. And down in Florida, some big races down there, 2 congressional districts that we're trying to hold on to and we're up in. That being said, I don't want to put too rosy of a picture out there. History's against us. The average party that holds the White House loses 32 seats. So we're up against some very long odds.
And I know the polls have gone in Republican favor in the last week, but you're still not quite there. It still shows that there is a good shot, above 50%, that Democrats will, in fact, take back the House. If that happens, who will the president be mad at?
Well, I think the president will be mad at, I don't know who he'll be mad at. I think, you know, he's put everything in, we've put everything in. It will just be history if you have anything to be mad at. That being said, I mean, as you noted, we still have a gap to make up because about 25 to 35 seats are in play. We can only lose 22 seats here. But as you know, remember, the polls were wrong in Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin because of this hidden Trump voter. And just quickly, I talked to a pollster. He said to me he went out in the aftermath of the 2016 election, talked to voters in Michigan and in California, and he said 37% of Trump voters, nearly a third, did not tell pollsters who they were voting for. So that could be at play here as well.
Well, we will see. It makes the midterms and election night that much more exciting. Fox Business will have the best coverage in the history of the world. And thank you for being a part of the best show on cable news tonight.
Oh, I love your show, Kennedy. Always happy to be here.
Thank you. Humility is really my best attribute, Kayleigh.